Coming up next right here on Fortminorproject channel, aka David Vera channel, it's a tag video for Thrashmaniac99 where I not only tag everyone else, but hopefully everyone else will spread this around like the last video for my top 15 WWE pay-per-view matches of all time. So with that being said, let's get right down into it and roll that damn intro.
Inside me, a light was turned on. Then I was alive. If you close your eyes, your life, and then the truth revealed. The dreams you never lived and scars never healed. In the darkness, light will take you to the other side. And find me waiting there, you'll see if you just love your eyes.
Alright, what's going on, guys? Fortminorproject back at it again, in here for another video for you guys for today. In here for a tag video and a video response to Thrashmaniac99, basically talking about, as you can see from the title down below, on WWE pretty much over-relying on indie stars. And with this one, I gotta say, it really isn't necessarily too much of a bad thing, just looking out for talent that are on the indies, like say Ring of Honor or New Japan Pro Wrestling, and looking to see who's their biggest top star, or who's going to be one of the next guys to come over. It doesn't have to be the biggest top star that they have, but other guys that they might be interested in, and to bring them over. Say like how they brought in AJ Styles, spend years and years of people speculating when he's going to be able to make his big debut in WWE, and he's been basically everywhere he's went, and ever since basically having near the end of NJPW, New Japan Pro Wrestling, well, he was able to make his debut just last year in the Royal Rumble, and just actually bypassing NXT and going straight to the main roster, and to where he is today on SmackDown Live, and a former WWE champion. So, that's an example, of it not being so bad and not really overexposing people. Kevin Owens, when he first came in, went after John Cena, looking to face him. Eventually, not only was he NXT champion when he was NXT, but the United States champion, and now Universal champion, and having some pretty cool matches. And now with him having some help with Chris Jericho, even though that's really entertaining, but Kevin Owens doesn't really need help from guys like Chris Jericho, Braun Strowman to actually finish the match, because we know how much of a badass, for those of you who do know him from other companies like Ring of Honor and stuff, and wherever else he's wrestled and stuff, he doesn't really need that help, especially as being a heel. So, he doesn't really need that going for him. And then having other people be brought up to NXT to help out NXT, to actually fill up the roster, and have, former indie guys going up against current stars and stuff like that, actually makes it for interesting stuff, especially now that we got Nakamura in there from NJPW basically, and now he's the former NXT champion. Same thing for Bobby Roode, former TNA World Champion, now in NXT as the NXT champion, and actually having that face-off between himself, Bobby Roode, and Shinsuke Nakamura most recently at NXT TakeOver San Antonio for the NXT Championship. So, it really isn't that bad of an issue for me, so it doesn't really bring, that much bad overexposure. It depends on how well they're going to be used, and, in terms of like promos and stuff, if they're going to have scripted promos or actually talk from the heart and stuff like that. I think having indie stars is a really cool thing to bring into WWE, if you ask me, on how that's going to be happening for other future stars that'll be coming from the indies, whether it be Ring of Honor, whether it be New Japan Pro Wrestling, even from TNA to a certain extent, if you will. But yeah, it doesn't really necessarily hurt them. It depends how they're going to be booked, and how booking is going to be able to deal with them. So hopefully things won't go too wrong with other certain stars and stuff like that. And having them be on NXT is really cool to help them get ready for the main roster. If they're ready, if they're that good enough, they can just go to the main roster, like an AJ Styles, go in the Royal Rumble match and make their debut and be either on both shows at the time before the brand split and eventually hit SmackDown Live, or on Raw, or if they just go straight to NXT and actually fight their way up to the top, or just go right for the world title. Doesn't really matter depending on the situation, but I guess you get my point. Didn't want to be in here for a whole long video, but having indie stars I think is a cool thing. And is it really too much of an overexposure? It doesn't really hurt WWE in that aspect. It actually helps bring in the new stars and stuff, and to see where those guys came from, to see how they transition into WWE and where they're going to go and what feuds might come out of it. So that's my video tag for you. Until then, I'll catch you guys in the next video, whenever the hell that may be.